In Season 20, I hit GC3 for the first time ever. But what's so special about that? Thousands of players achieve this every single season, and when you put it that way, it doesn't seem special at all. What makes my journey unique though is that roughly 10 years ago, when I first started playing this game, I was placed in Silver 1. I climbed from Silver all the way up to GC3, and I'm probably one of the few players to have ever done so. If you don't already know me, I'm Rico, a coach who wants to help you guys rank up faster than I did. In this video, I'm going to share my journey in hitting GC3, covering the main difficulties in ranking up and how to overcome all of them. This is almost going to be like a letter to my younger self, and I hope it can help someone out there. In my climb to GC3, I faced three main problems that made it more difficult to rank up in Rocket League. Let's get right into it. Difficulty number 1, mechanics. While I never had super terrible mechanics compared to most players in my rank, below average mechanics was still something that held me back. Rocket League at the end of the day is a football game, and that means that in order to excel, you're going to need to put the ball in the back of the net. And as soon as I realized this, I started practicing and perfecting my fundamentals until I could confidently say that I had the mechanics of a GC3 player. So how did I do this? The truth is that it took me hundreds of hours of free play and thousands of ranked games to become the player that I am today. It might sound obvious, but there are genuinely no shortcuts to getting good mechanics. To get into the specifics, I played free play for 1 to 2 hours every single day minimum, until I got from champ level aerial mechanics to GC3 level aerial mechanics. This took months of deliberate practice and a lot of hours that for the average player is just not possible to put in. But this video is about sharing exactly what I did to hit GC3. And this psychotic amount of mechanics training put my raw mechanics at a level above everyone that I faced in GC1 and even in GC2. Despite this advantage, I wasn't yet mechanically dominant. My solo plays and overall card control had a lot of flaws, and I was still losing games because of it. My answer to this problem was 1v1s, but the way that I play them is different from just about everyone else I've talked to. You see, most people who play ones as a practice method just play ranked 1v1s and go for different mechs. But what I did instead was I would play private match 1v1s against better players, and I wanted my mechanics to feel in ranked nearly identical to what my mechanics would feel in private matches. And I decided that the best way to achieve this was to play them the exact same way. This ensured that I could constantly work on problems I identified while playing ranked by always getting in quality practice against better opponents, so whenever I played, my brain began to blur the line between private matches and ranked, whereas before I would get flustered easily in my ranked games and my mechanics were never fluid. A few days after I implemented this, my mind became calmer during games, and I could rely more on my mechanics. On top of all of this, when I trained my mechanics, I was very self-critical. I took notes when I was practicing on what I needed to do better. I would notice inconsistencies in my setups. I watched highlights of pro players and identified how they move and directed their car in important situations. If you're serious about overcoming this difficulty, your action step is simple. Get your ass into free play and play a lot of 1v1s against better players than you. When you put in the hours, you will see the results in probably about 2 months. But you have to remember, the more you put in, the more you get out. When you feel like your mechanics are a step above everybody else in your lobbies, you can tone down draining to just 10% of your playtime. But if you're starting out, invest a good portion, like 25 or even 30% of your total playtime into just training your mechanics. I'm going to keep it real with you. Mindset is probably the most important difficulty to overcome. I know it doesn't sound like it, but without a proper mindset, I struggle to develop my mechanics and other aspects of the game. Furthermore, a bad mindset affected how much I enjoyed the game, and even my fulfillment outside of it. In the next few minutes, I'm going to explain the mindset that got me to GC3, so I want you to lock in and listen up. If you have the goal of ranking up, your actions and thoughts should align with winning and improving. Whatever your goal is, you should be able to easily trace your actions and thoughts back to it at all times. So, if an action or thought isn't able to be traced back to your goal, get rid of it. Common sense, right? So then why are you tilting at your teammates and yelling at them? Why are you trying to forfeit? Why are you even complaining about Smurfs? Even having certain feelings such as anger or stress will not increase your chances of winning, nor help with improvement, and should therefore just be eliminated to the best of your ability. And this should extend well beyond each game as well. Align how you train, how you play those private matches, and how you watch your favorite streamers or YouTubers with your goal of ranking up. Eliminate all of the slop that doesn't align with your goals while keeping everything that actually gives you value. This does include certain emotions, and whether you choose to accept that you have the power to control your emotions or not, there are people out there who can, and this is not an innate characteristic that you're just born with. Anger is a choice, stress is a choice, and by choosing to feel these emotions, you're just hindering your own ability to grow at the game. So flame me for this all you want, but the truth is that I eliminated anger and stress from my gameplay, and if you want to keep it in your gameplay because you think that it isn't in your control, that's fine. Suit yourself. Another thing that you should always consider is that in the hundreds of games that it will take for you to hit GC3, or whatever your goal rank is, you are going to be the only constant. Focus on improving yourself, the consistent variable that you can actually control, instead of blaming your teammates and opponents who you have no absolute control over. By developing this mindset, I started converting games that actually felt unwinnable, started having way more fun playing Rocket League, and trained more effectively than ever. Other than developing this mindset, the one action step you can take, and the one I took that helped me with my mental, is playing 5 to 10 minutes of free play after every tilting loss or game with terrible performance. In this free play time, I didn't focus entirely on my mechanics at all, and I'd instead just lower the game volume and use this free play time as a time of reflection, where I'd literally talk to myself about how the previous games played out, what I could have done differently, what I could have done better. That also reset my mental and made it impossible for tilt to actually affect me for more than a game. And this didn't just help me with my mental, but it actually helped me with my game sense as well. The third difficulty that I faced is a lack of knowledge and having a fixed perspective of the game. Did you notice how I didn't say a lack of game sense? Because game sense is made up of two parts, knowledge and application. And since I was playing the game with the right mindset and with intense focus, I was actually applying my knowledge as best as I could. However, I had many misconceptions about how the game should be played, and without expanding and refining my understanding of the game, my gameplay would always end up flawed no matter how well I could apply what I knew. One day, I had a replay review with an SSL player, and it completely opened my eyes to the way that players in the higher ranks understand the game. And this was the moment that I realized my perspective was what limited me, no matter how much I replay reviewed on my own or reflected upon each goal conceded. I wouldn't have been able to fix the flaws that the SSL player pointed out because I simply wouldn't know that they exist. I was playing checkers while he was literally playing 4D chess. So when he looked at my gameplay, he saw the game so differently, and that surprised me. He would point out pathings I could have taken, information I didn't gather from a lack of awareness, good chances to create solo plays, and so much more. The point I'm trying to make is that you're going to plateau if you're not getting other perspectives when you're reviewing your replays. The way improvement at GameSense works is a cycle. You expand your knowledge, and then you refine your application of said knowledge. And then you refine it again, and you expand again, and you refine again, and you expand again, right? It's constantly going. But it is impossible to apply what you don't know. Trust me, there are concepts that GC3 players and even some SSL players are not aware of, and they'll never be able to apply it without someone else watching their gameplay and telling them about it. That is why your action step for this section is to bring and talk about one of your replays with a GC or SSL player. Now, if you don't have access to one, just try the highest ranked player that you know. Ask them to point out everything that they do differently in their game, everything that they think you did wrong, and make sure, most importantly, to ask about their thought process behind it all. Because if you never figure out why something is good or bad, you'll never learn to think like them. You need to become a sponge and absorb all the knowledge that they give you, but it's also even more important that you realize all of the reasons behind each decision, so then you can actually understand why you're doing something, not just blindly copy it. And the second thing I did to improve my actual amount of knowledge was watching pro replays. I would watch Zen play twos and I'd try to look for specific things. For example, when he would challenge for his teammate and when he would let them challenge for him instead. Noticing when he would make certain decisions helped me make conclusions and come to understanding concepts that I never actually knew before. And then applying these concepts is what helped me win more ranked games. You won't need to do these things all the time. Once a week is usually good for reviewing your own replays, but with pro replays, the more you watch, the more you'll get out of it. When I went from GC1 to GC3 in just 2 months, I was watching pro replays 3 to 4 times every single day. And I'm not saying that to flex, but rather to show you how powerful watching better players can actually be. So if you're ever feeling stuck like I was, take this action step, and if you're playing with the right mindset, you will slowly expand your knowledge and automate your application of it. Combine that with actual intentional proper mechanics training and you'll be improving faster than everyone in your rank. And if you're really serious about improving, I've just released my coaching community where I do group coaching calls where we analyze those exact pro replays I'm talking about, along with one-on-one coaching sessions where I do replay reviews on your own ranked games. If that sounds at all interesting to you, make sure to check out the first link in the description. I appreciate you all for watching all the way to the end. God bless and peace out.